with Dubois. We'll see what happens, but that's for them to overcome now, and it's a very difficult situation.
Daniel Dubois ill, can't fight. Fighters' health and safety is the most important thing. So I felt for Daniel, but look, if he rests and recuperates.
Eddie Hearn isn't holding back. He knows this is a nightmare situation, a heavyweight title fight in doubt just days before it happens. That's pure chaos. If Daniel Dubois is really out, Usyk's team has to move fast for the fans. It's a big disappointment. And just when things seem uncertain, Adam Smith speaks up and hints at something even more worrying: heavyweights don't have to make weight. So a replacement could be possible if Dubois is outgot any heavyweights ready. He asks. Adam Smith gets straight to the point. Rumors are flying everywhere. Getting sick right before media duties, it feels like bad timing, maybe even suspicious. The rumors are only getting louder. Is this a real health issue or something planned? And it's not just talk. Johnny Nelson went ringside himself, trying to find out what's really happening.
They don't have to check weigh, and hopefully they can find a replacement if Dubois is out of the fight.
Have you got any heavyweights there?
Johnny Nelson confirms it, but the mystery only grows. Dubois skips the press event, saying he's sick, adding to the talk. Why stay silent now unless there's something to hide? And just when the silence feels odd, Johnny spots something that could change it all.
Of course, Daniel Dubois gets ill just around the press conference time. A lot of rumors, speculation.
Johnny Nelson sounds shaken, and with good reason. Don Charu seemed positive just hours ago, and now Dubois disappears. This feels like a last-minute pullout, or maybe mind games if it's real. The promoters are rushing for a plan B, but if it's just a trick, then what's the real reason? This isn't some small undercard fight. It's a unified heavyweight title match. You don't skip that unless something is really wrong, or unless you're looking for an excuse to back out. And when it comes to explaining moments like this clearly, Teddy Atlas jumps in.
Dubois is sick and currently being evaluated by the doctor. A replacement is being pursued in the event that he doesn't pass the
Atlas doesn't hold back. Usyk's not here to play games. If Dubois pulls out, the message is clear. Bring the next guy. That's a champion's mindset. Simple and strong. The fight must go on. But wait, Frank Warren isn't staying quiet either. What he says next might change how you see it all.
This morning he was in high spirits saying, Donnie, you're coming to the press conference. He said, no, I'm letting Daniel do the talking. So this is fresh news, unless you know what, it's a red herring. Unless I'm all right, I'll turn up to fight. I don't know. But what if he doesn't fight? What do we do? It's not the top of the belt. It's still a great belt. Would they be able to get someone in to stand in at short?
Frank Warren sounds more than just upset. He sounds like he saw this coming. He explains the tough costs behind canceling a fight, and it hits hard up full camp. Top sparring partners, nutrition, custom prep, none of it is cheap, but the anger isn't only about money. It's about missed chances, lost respect, and media damage. Usyk trained just as hard. And he's not making any excuses. Dubois, meanwhile, disappears, and Frank is left to handle the media. Fans deserve better. You don't back out unless you're really broken, physically or mentally. This isn't some small event. This is top-level heavyweight action, and if you're not ready now, then when will you be? And just as we wonder what comes next, Frank goes further and starts talking like Dubois's future plans are already in motion, as if this whole fight is already behind them.
He wants to fight the best guy available. He was ready to fight the best guy available, the world champion fight. So give me the next best guy. Well, this guy, you sure? I mean, you want it? Yeah.
Frank is already thinking about Dubois's next steps without even saying what really went wrong this time. That tells you everything. The focus isn't on what just fell apart. It's on fixing things fast before the story gets worse. Almost feels like they knew this might happen. And don't forget, this isn't the first time Dubois disappeared before a big fight. He pulled out before the Joseph Parker bout too, just days before it was announced. Now it's happening again. That's not a random thing. It's a pattern. Meanwhile, Usyk was ready. He didn't pull out. He didn't skip press events. He didn't complain about timing or being sick. The difference between the top fighters and those still proving themselves. Dubois backed himself into a corner. He wanted this rematch to clear his name, prove people wrong, and change the story. Instead, now people talk like he needs soft fights and careful handling. If you're really a top heavyweight, you don't skip the rematch. You show up and fight. And if you lose fighting. Not coughing, but if you think Frank was being careful with his words. Just wait until you hear what Daniel Dubois says next. He claims he was robbed the first time. And it's shocking.
It was a big fight. He's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. You imagine the cost involved in a training camp, booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss. You can't insure it. Or if you do, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointing.
Daniel Dubois says he was robbed. But let's be clear. Usyk didn't stay down. He got back up and took control. That's not a robbery. That's strength. This isn't a small show where one lucky shot wins the belts. This used to squelchy disquo. This is World Championship Boxing, saying you won with. A questionable body shot sounds desperate. Dubois says next time he'd give it everything, but this was the time to do that. Instead, we're hearing about withdrawals and missing press events. Where's the fight and the fighter you can't demand? Respect with punches, then hide behind excuses. Usyk earned his victory. He faced trouble and pushed through it. Dubois had his chance. And if he really believed in fixing the past, he wouldn't skip this one. It's not robbery, it's regret. And while Dubois talks about making things right, others are starting to wonder if he's even mentally ready for this level. Tony Bellew didn't hold back.
And then we'll make our decision afterwards what we're going to do. But Daniel, once he's ready and over his illness, he'll be back into camp and we'll have him out soon.
Is there a possibility, obviously?
Tony Bellew gets right to the point. Daniel Dubois hasn't changed, and that's the real issue. You can train with new people, post hype videos, and shout louder in interviews, but if your mindset is still weak, the result won't be different. Bellew knows what it means to go through real battles. He's been there. And what he says now is harsh. Dubois still carries doubts, mental scars from Joyce, from Usyk, and from pressure. And when things get tough, those cracks start to show. Bellew points to something no coach can. Fear of pain, fear of pressure, fear of losing. And in heavyweight boxing, that's deadly. You can't face someone like Usyk unless your belief is rock solid, because Usyk won't flinch. He'll walk through fire and smile doing it. Dubois, he hasn't even proved he can. Strike the match, and if Bellew's words weren't strong enough, what he says next about that body shot clears all doubt.
He's been down a few times with body shots, so yeah, there's definitely this time I've got to throw this kitchen sink at him.
Tony Bellew nails it again. He watched the shot and he, as a fighter, saw nothing illegal. Let that sink in. Dubois based his whole redemption story on one punch. One borderline body shot that didn't end the fight, didn't drop Usyk, and barely slowed him down. And now, one of Britain's most respected boxing voices says, nope, not dirty. Bellew's view crushes Dubois's last excuse, because if the shot was clean, what came after was Usyk's brilliance and Dubois's fall. You can't keep calling yourself a victim when real fighters aren't agreeing. This wasn't a robbery. It was a test of heart. Usyk passed. Dubois is still looking for answers. Maybe even a way out. But while some argue about that body shot, Joe Rogan noticed something else. Usyk's leaked training video before the rematch. And what Joe saw shocked him.
Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. It's just his mental approach is going to have to be different.
When even Joe Rogan is shocked by your training footage, you're doing something right. Usyk's leaked clips weren't just impressive, they made a statement. Rogan, who's seen top-level fighters up close for years, looked truly surprised by Usyk's speed, timing, and movement. This wasn't a regular heavyweight on the pads. This was a former cruiserweight king moving like a lightweight, ducking, turning, gliding with control. The way he kept angles and controlled space, it looked like poetry in motion. And Dubois, what was he doing? Missing press events, hiding behind illness, and giving excuses. While Usyk was sharpening his skills like a surgeon, Dubois was already losing the fight mentally. The leaked footage isn't just hype, it shows total focus. Usyk isn't coming to just fight, he's coming to dominate. He doesn't care who's in front of him, Dubois, a replacement, or even a prime Mike Tyson. And if Rogan is giving public praise like that, it shows Usyk's prep isn't just top level, it's scary. This was supposed to be the rematch where Dubois changed the story. Instead, it looks like Usyk was ready to end it for good. And if Rogan's words weren't enough, wait until you hear what Amir Khan said about Usyk's power, his mindset, and why beating him might be impossible.
Your thoughts on, do you believe it was illegal? I do.
I thought it was illegal or illegal?
I thought it was illegal. It's called a protector for a reason.
Yeah.
He hits the protector.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it's below the navel.
It's a low blow.
What's your thoughts, Carl?
I thought it was alright.
Did you?
Yeah, but I'm back. I'm a man, so
no. We've all got to go on. We've all got to accept this right now. Was it good for you? Was it? What?
Amir Khan's respect for Usyk is clear, and it makes sense. Calling him a beast isn't just praise. It's a real compliment from a former world champ who knows what it takes at the top. Khan understands the pressure Usyk brings, not just power, but speed, smart ring control, and non-stop movement. But here's where it gets interesting. Khan thinks Dubois could do better this time. But how can he, if he never even steps into the ring? All the skills in the world don't matter if you're not willing to fight. Usyk, on the other hand, has done it all. He's beaten champions, fought in tough places, lived through war, and moved up in weight. He's a once-in-a-generation fighter. If Dubois ever had a real chance, it was now. Instead, he stepped out of the spotlight, letting the moment pass. Amir sees promise, but promise is useless without action, and right now, only Usyk is showing up and doing the work. But if Amir gave hopeful words, Usyk himself said something way more personal about Dubois, and he didn't hold anything back. Doesn't talk trash often, but when he does, it hits hard in his calm, steady voice. He repeats what fans have said for years, that Daniel Dubois might give up when things get tough. Against Joe Joyce, he went down and didn't get up. Against Usyk, same thing. He stayed on one knee and quit. And now, with just days before the rematch, he's gone missing again. Little bit afraid, Usyk says, and really, who can blame him? Usyk is a nightmare for any heavyweight. He's quick, tricky, and doesn't stop. But true champions don't let fear control them. They keep going. Usyk didn't call Dubois a coward. He didn't have to. His message is clear. When the moment gets big, Dubois fades. Now fans are starting to see a pattern. That's not just bad timing. That's a weakness in mindset. Usyk didn't just beat him physically, he may have broken him mentally too. And no training camp or media silence can hide that now. And if you still think there's a twist coming, Just wait until you hear what's in the final part.
Good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he'll learn from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has a...
This was supposed to be Daniel Dubois' chance to make things right. The moment to silence the critics. Forget the knee and stand strong like a true fighter. Instead, it's the same story again,